afternoon and welcome to the May 12th hearing of the Seminole County, Florida Special Magistrate. Before we begin, I would like to advise everyone about the procedures that govern appearances before me. This meeting is open to the public under Florida's Government in the Sunshine Law. Therefore, every effort will be made to hear all persons having relevant evidence or argument to offer. The ethics law of the state of Florida requires that the county keep track of every person who appears before an official hearing officer of the county, whether in an effort to influence my decision-making or to encourage the passage, defeat, or modification of any proposal or recommendation. In order to implement the state law, it is required that every person who appears before me be registered with the clerk to my left. The cases where the respondent are present and signed in with the clerk will be heard first. You will be sworn in or affirmed by the clerk to the special magistrate. Once all cases where the respondents are present have been heard, I will return to hear the remaining cases as they appear on the agenda. When your case is called, please be seated at the table reserved for the respondents over here. In that the county has the burden of proving a violation exists, the county will present their case, and then the respondents will be allowed to present their case. Additionally, please limit your comments to only information relating to the case. Each party may question witnesses offered on behalf of the other party. Additionally, staff members may question those appearing before me. I will then make my decision based on the evidence and testimony presented by both parties. All proceedings before me are electronically recorded. Please speak directly into the microphone at the center of the table and state your name clearly before presenting your case. Should you need assistance due to a hearing impairment or a language barrier, please inform the clerk when you register. To avoid interference with cases being presented, all cell phones and other electronic devices are to be turned off or silenced while inside the chambers. Thank you for your cooperation. Do you want to swear in? If you're going to be giving testimony, would you please stand, raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you. The first case we will hear is 2221 CESM, respondents Robert and Connie Freeland. You just need to come take a seat over here, please. Good afternoon, sir.
Copy of the PowerPoint for you. It just went away. I don't know what happened.
That's all right. We'll give you a minute.
Got you. We're back up.
Go ahead.
All right. Kyle Kasich, Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request it be entered into the record.
It is entered. Thank you.
Case number 22-21 CESM is for the property located at 470 Citadel Drive, Altamont Springs, which is owned by Robert L. Freeland. The violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. The description of the violation is installation of a shed without the required permit. The case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was 6/26/20. Notice to respondent was on 6/29/20. Compliance date was 12/29/21. Follow-up inspections as shown both on-site visit and via computer. Results of the re-inspections as the violations remain on the property. This screenshot from the property appraiser's website shows Robert L. Freeland is the record owner of the property. This photograph shows the posting of the notice of the hearing for this property.
And that was because the certified mail was not delivered or was not received?
In this case, I believe that's correct, and she's checking right now.
I'm just confirming because the statute requires that attempt. Thank you.
This is a photograph of the violation taken on 6/26/20. Another photograph taken 12/15/21. Another 2/9/22. And finally 5/11/22. This screen shows no permits have been applied for or issued to correct the violations. After review by Planning and Development for applicant needs a variance to keep the shed. The variance application received 2/8/22 and is currently on hold due to awaiting response from homeowner. P&D last contacted the owner in April to determine which variance option he would like to take. 3 options available. Planning and Development has not received any responses from the homeowner, not heard at the 3/28/22 Board of Adjustment hearing due to no response from the owner. Last email sent to homeowner was 4/4/22. This shows a copy of Chapter 40 in which they are in violation of. Recommendation, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2221 CESM, is determined that the respondent is the record owner of the property located at 470 Citadel Drive, Altamont Springs, in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It is further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before July 15th, 2022. In order to correct the violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permits for the cited violation. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Does the respondent wish to respond? Or just for the record, sir, are you the property owner?
Yes,
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
yes.
Did you receive the emails from the county?
I don't believe so.
Okay, that was going to be one of my questions for the county. Did you know if that was a working email address, or were any calls made? And I'm not saying it's the county's responsibility, I'm just trying to ascertain what communication occurred. Had you ever heard back from the respondent on that email address?
We would have to consult with Planning and Development because the variance is done through Planning and Development, not the Building Department.
Okay. Sir, do you have a working email address?
Yes,
And did you provide it to the county?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Well, why did you submit a variance application and then not follow up? Or did you submit a variance application?
Did submit one.
Okay. Did you know the county was trying to reach you with questions?
They only flagged that in the yard,
Okay.
because I was trying to get a building permit issued.
Okay. Do you still want the variance?
So
Well, the county, I think, is saying that to approve your shed there, you either have to remove the shed to come into compliance or get it approved. And to get it approved, you would need that variance. Is that correct, county?
Yes.
Okay. So do you plan to remove the shed or apply for a variance, or neither?
I don't want to remove the shed.
Okay.
So I'll apply for the variance,
Okay.
or I can't.
Okay. So at this point, you need to contact Planning and Development and answer their questions, or your variance application is not going to go anywhere, because they need to have additional information from you in order to schedule it at the Board of Adjustment. And that takes time to get accomplished. And then you have to see what the Board of Adjustment does. If you get your variance, you may be able to come into compliance without moving the shed or removing the shed. So that is going to affect your case here. So that's why I'm going through this with you, to make sure you understand that the county's waiting on information from you and won't process it further right now. Is that okay? July, is that a reasonable amount of time to get before the Board of Adjustment from now if he provides the information? Even if he provided it immediately?
We'd be fine with pushing him to 90 days.
Okay. Sir, can you go up to Planning and Development and try to answer their questions? We will go ahead, if you're willing to do that, I'll go ahead and give you 90 days, and that would be, let me look at the calendar. What is the 90 days? August? So you would have until August 11th to come into compliance, but you're going to need to get with Planning and Development about that variance, okay, sir? Okay, so then I will go ahead and find the property in violation, give you until August 11th to come into compliance. If you do not come into compliance by August 11th, we will see you back here, and a fine of $50 a day might be imposed on your property at that time, but not before then, okay? Thank you, sir.
Ashley Dobbins are the two you'll want to talk to, and that's for the reason that
Okay, the next case is 2237 CESM, respondent Marcus Wintz. Good afternoon, sir.
I'll be right behind you. Make sure that USB drive didn't sneaky. Did you hear that? I think it does. Okay.
Good afternoon. For the record, Mary Robinson with Planning and Development Services. This case is Seminole County Land Development Code violation of Chapter 75, right-of-way use permitting. The description of the violation is constructing improvements in the TIF greenways and trails, Oviedo Spring Hammock Trail, which is county walking and bike path. The case summary is the initial inspection was 10/7 of '21. The notice to respondent was 10/11/21 and 1/4/22, with compliance dates of 11/10/21 and 1/14/22. Follow-up inspections were in November 15, 21, 5/2 of '22, and yesterday of 5/11/22. The results of the reinspection are that the right-of-way improvements remain in place. This is the property record card showing Mr. Wentz as the property owner. This is the notice of posting on 5/2 as the certified mail was returned. This is a picture of the driveway that was installed and the damage to the county trail. This is another picture showing the other direction. This is a photograph taken on 5/11, showing the existing still damage to the county trail and the driveway improvement in our right-of-way. This is a picture of approximately a 6-inch pipe that was installed in the swale and is underneath the driveway that was installed without a permit. This is another picture of the same pipe, but on the other side of the driveway. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in the case, number 22-37 CESM, is determined that the respondent is the owner of record of the property on the north side of the Greenway and Trails of Oviedo Spring Hammock, located in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's record. He's in possession or control of the property and is in violation of Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 75, right-of-way use permitting. It's recommended that the special magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before July 14th of 2022. In order to correct this violation, the respondent shall remove the improvements in the greenways and trails of Oviedo Spring Hammock, restore the damage to the greenways and trails of Oviedo Spring Hammock, and if he does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 a day will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact code enforcement officer to arrange for an inspection of the property to verify compliance. And that completes my presentation. I've also submitted to the clerk for the record a copy of the PowerPoint presentation.
Thank you. Does the respondent wish to respond?
Yeah, I don't want to remove my only access into my property.
Okay, just before we go there, just for the record, could you please state your name?
My name is Marcus Wentz.
Okay, thank you. And can you repeat what you were saying?
I don't wish to remove the only access that I have into my property. So the way that the property sits is it backs up to the 417, and then right in between the 417 and the walking trail is my property. It is roughly 1,500 feet long. It's the only access that I have to get into the property.
So just a question for the county then, is there a way for him to access the property and be in compliance?
He would have to apply for a right-of-way use permit, coordinate that with our Leisure Services Department, which we have representatives here today to answer any questions with regard to that, but that would be the process.
And has that permit been submitted for yet?
No, it has not.
Okay.
I've had no contact with the property owner.
Thank you. Do you intend to submit for the permit?
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, I would like to be in compliance. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, I don't see a dispute about the violation. You're just wondering what you have to do to come into compliance?
As far as the damage on the asphalt, who's to say that that wasn't there before? There's vehicles that travel on that walk and pathway every day from Seminole County employees. I don't know. I don't know how there would be a way to not travel over that road and create some type of asphalt separation.
Okay, so for the county, is the violation that I have here is constructing improvements,
Yes.
not the damage necessarily, or is it both?
It would be both. He constructed improvements, and as a result of the construction of those improvements,
The
the
damage-
trail has been damaged.
Okay. And what are the improvements he constructed? The driveway?
He constructed a driveway, and he installed a pipe,
The pipe in the pictures?
the pipe goes under the driveway.
Okay, and both of those require a permit that was not obtained?
Yes.
Okay.
That would all be part of the right-of-way use permit.
Okay, so the property is in violation for not having these improvements permitted,
Yeah.
okay?
But
So-
not damage to the road. I haven't gotten a code violation for that.
Do you have a copy of?
She's trying to blend these two things together, and that's just not the case, you know? If
Okay,
there was a violation of me, destroying Seminole County property, then that would be a separate violation, would it not?
yeah, I do not have a copy of the notice of violation to see what was noticed. Was it just the construction of the improvements, or was it?
Yes.
Okay, so the finding that I am making is for constructing improvements in the TIF Greenways and Trails Oviedo Springs Hammock without the proper permitting.
Okay.
Okay, so we will give you until July 14th of 2022 to come into compliance. There won't be fines imposed before that time, but if it's not in compliance by that date, you'll be back here, and we may impose a fine of $100 a day.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
I think there's another case now.
Yes.
I haven't called that case yet, but we will do it next. The next case is 2238 CESM, same respondent.
What's this?
I don't have that PowerPoint, but. Thank you.
Officer Hill, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, Code Enforcement, East Region. For the record, I submitted a copy of the PowerPoint to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2238 CESM. The respondent is Marcus Wentz. located at the end of Wrights Road, which is a vacant parcel in Seminole County off the Seminole Trail. The violation charge is Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 7, Section 30.122, uses permitted. Contractor storage yard on a vacant parcel is not a permitted use in an A1 zoning district. My initial inspection was October 5th, 2021, with notice to respondent on October 15th and November 2nd, 2021, with compliance dates of October 29th, 2021 and November 16th, 2021, with follow-up inspections including November 1st and November 16th of 2021, May 3rd and May 11th, which was yesterday, 2022. The results of my follow-up inspection is the storage yard remains on the subject property. This image was taken from an aerial 2021 from property appraiser showing the property that Mr. Wentz owns, which is between the 417 and on Seminole Trail. The bottom orange arrow shows Wrights Road, which is a non-paved road. Where the yellow arrow is pointing to is there is a gate with a padlock on it. That's where they make entrance onto the property. I am not sure who owns that gate or who has the padlock. But yesterday, myself and Ms. Robinson were out there, and I'll get to that later. There was a truck waiting to make a dump onto this property. These photos were taken on my initial inspection on October 5th, 2021. You can see the storage container, the open trailers, and the Bobcat in the back. Due to the, and there were some unmarked trucks back there with no tags and some pavers. Due to the fact of the unmarked trucks and the trailers, I did call one of our detectives that works in our auto theft unit. He did recover one of the trailers as a stolen trailer out of Miami Gardens. He has been trying to get in contact with Mr. Wentz, but he has not gotten any emails or phone calls back from him, just as I have not heard any respondents. On the left photo, Mr. Wentz does own a paving company in Orlando, so there are some pallets of pavers also located on the property during my initial inspection. These photos were taken on the same day, again, pallets of pavers, and then on the right are the wheelbarrows and cement mixer. Same date, storage container, open trailer, heavy equipment. On the left photo are some containers. I did call environmental services out as well to make sure that there's nothing in the containers or anything on the property that can harm the environment, and they did not find anything. I did get in contact with Ms. Robinson and Tom Delaney with the county, and they did issue a stop work order on the property. And this photo was taken on November 1st, 2021. There was a truck out there that somebody was working on. The red arrow shows somebody was crawled up underneath the truck trying to repair it. And also on the left, you can see some empty pallets. These photos were taken on the same date, another truck and pallets. Same date, the storage container still there, along with the equipment. This photo was taken November 17, 2021 with empty pallets, and the photo on the left was taken from the trail. These photos were taken also on the 17th. Another unmarked vehicle was dropped off at this location with no tag. This photo was taken on the same day. Now we're pushing more of the land back to make room for more storage, along with some other rubbish. These photos were taken on the same day, more pallets of pavers. These photos were taken on May 2nd, 2022. Same day. Now on the right, we have an old sign from somewhere, and then on the left, just some rubbish and old pallets. This photo was taken on the same day. Now we have a boat motor on the right-hand side, next to the storage container, along with other junk. This photo was taken the same day. We have tree debris and still the heavy equipment located on the property. On the left is an open trailer with more rubbish. On the right, heavy equipment. Now we have a washer-dryer combo as well, along with another truck and a toilet, which you can see better on in the left picture. On the right, we have a boat now out there. Also, we have another boat. We have a boat trailer and another untagged vehicle on the right. Photos were taken on the same date. More trailers with junk in it, and then on the right, some old metal gates with rubbish piled up behind it. These photos were taken on the same date. These were the postings for myself and the county. These photos were taken yesterday. Again, on the left, you have the storage container, the heavy equipment, pavers, more pavers. Same rubbish and some pieces of cement are now piled out there. Tires on the other side of the storage container. And there's tree debris and the heavy equipment. More accumulation next to the storage container. The washer and dryer combo along with the heavy equipment still remains out there. As yesterday, we have a pop-up camper. And this photo was taken of the truck that was waiting for myself and Ms. Robinson to leave the property. Ms. Robinson tried to wave the gentleman on to come out and speak with us and refused. We played the waiting game for a while to see if he would come out, and he refused to come out, so we left at that point.
Is that the truck that you're saying did the
Would
dump
drive
of
up Wrights
material?
Road and wait at the gate.
Okay.
So the suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2238 CESM. It is determined that the respondent, Marcus Wentz, is the owner of record located at Wrights Road, vacant parcel off the Seminole Trail in Seminole County, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 7, Section 30.122, uses permitted. It is further recommended that the special magistrate issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of June 12, 2022. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must remove all storage from the vacant parcel. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Does the respondent wish to respond? And state your name for the record, even though we just had a case.
Marcus Wentz.
Thank you.
A couple things. My trailer that you guys took from my property, I have the title to that trailer, so it is not stolen, and I don't know why I wasn't informed that you guys took it from my property. So the whole time I just thought that it got stolen off my property. So there's that. Also, it doesn't matter if I am a contractor or not. I should be able to be in possession of the things that I've bought and put on this piece of property. What do I need to do to be compliant and keep those things there? You're saying that it's an A1 zone property. Agricultural is supposed to be vacant. What about taking care of whatever needs to be taken care of on that property as far as maybe equipment or, I don't know, I can't have a vehicle on my own property? Just because it's zoned agricultural doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to put something on there. It just doesn't make sense at all. What if I was farming something there and I needed that equipment to, I don't know, produce crops or whatever for my property? Saying that the property has to be vacant is just absurd to me. And then that's all I really have to say about that. As far as rezoning to a different zoning type, I don't know why I would have to jump through hoops just to keep things on my property. And then if I wanted to rezone at $2,500 per acre, it's 2 acres, $5,000, just so that I could be put into a different tax bracket and pay even more property taxes to Seminole County just to keep my things there, that's pretty absurd as well. I mean, I pay my taxes on the property. I'm keeping things there. I have no neighbors. There's no one there. There's 417 behind me, and that's it. So I just really don't understand why I would have to remove my possessions from the property that I pay for and the taxes that I pay on it. For what?
Okay, so you'll need to speak with the zoning people about those questions. There are permitted uses in the agricultural zoning district. I am not with the zoning department,
Yeah.
but that information is in the county's land development code, as well as, you know, there is staff that can talk to you about what uses can be made of that property. I don't think that the county is saying you can't keep a vehicle on your property. My understanding of what they're saying is that it goes beyond that, and that what is here is an illegal storage operation. That is what I think the county is telling me. I believe if it was just a vehicle, we might not be here. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. He has to have a primary structure on that property to start storing stuff. Like he was saying, agricultural, if he was growing plants or he had animals currently out there, then that would be allowed, but he doesn't have anything of that out there.
Just a question, is a garage a permitted use?
That would be, I don't know, Mary.
And he
Mary
hasn't asked
Moskowitz.
that.
I think Mary Moskowitz can answer that for us.
For the record, Mary Moskowitz, Planning and Zoning Manager. So this property is zoned A1, which is an agricultural use. So the primary use could be agricultural. So if they had an ag exemption, those are exempt from the building permit regulations. So that would, they could build buildings under the ag exemption. But a garage is considered an accessory structure, so you would need a primary structure.
Understood. Okay, well, it sounds like you have options of what you can do on your property that you could talk to staff about. As of right now, you're not in compliance with the codes.
The property is at the widest point, 80 feet wide, and it comes to a point, all the way to a point. The setbacks for building a structure on that property it won't allow me to build a structure on the property. When I bought the property, I thought that I was going to have the intention, and when I bought it, I was told by my realtor and by the former property owner that I would be able to build on it. It is unbuildable. I can't put anything on it. The setbacks from the road, the setbacks from the trail won't allow me to put a structure on it.
There are procedures to deal with that as well. The variance process is intended to, if that's true, I don't know the setbacks on your property, zoning does, but there is a process to apply for a variance, and if the shape of your property is the reason, then that is not a self-imposed issue, if that's the case. So that would be something I would suggest that you also would talk to staff about, because you have methods for coming into compliance and doing something with your property.
Is there some type of lenience as far as the $2,500 per acre to rezone? That's a lot of money.
Again, I am not with zoning. I'm the code enforcement special magistrate, but the
Okay.
people you need to talk with are in the zoning department.
How long do I have to be in compliance? The month from now is too short.
How long are you asking for, sir?
At least the minimum of 90 days, and I know that you have done that for other people. 90 days, can we do that?
And are you saying you're going to have all of this removed in 90 days?
I know that I can't do it in a month, I couldn't. It's impossible. Plus, I don't know where I would bring it. My house doesn't allow that. That's why I have some of those vehicles there. My HOA won't allow it. I live right around the corner from there.
I understand that you're saying you can't do it in 30 days, but what I'm asking is, are you intending to do it in 90 days? Or, because I'm not gathering from you if you want to be in compliance.
I want to be in compliance, but I want to explore my options first as far as rezoning and things like that, maybe possibly with the variance.
Understood.
I do want to see what all my avenues are before I make a move.
Okay, that answers my question, I appreciate it. County, do you object to the 90 days?
I don't object to the 90 days, but I do want to state for the record, this case has been open since October of last year. He's made no attempt to contact the sheriff's office or code enforcement, whether it was the detective that had removed the stolen trailer from the property, or myself with the notices of violation, or the attempt to certified letter to post for this hearing. That's pretty much.
That's not true. I came here for a hearing for the last date that you had me scheduled for. I walked in here, I sat down, and you said that you had the wrong address on my violation, that it had been dropped, and I would hear from you guys in the future. I didn't even know that these violations were posted on my property until just the other day. They got posted again on May 2nd. Well, I don't go out there every day. And then here we are 10 days later, I'm in front of you. So, like I said, I showed up for the last hearing. You guys dropped it. You made a mistake on your clerical portion. I've made an attempt to be here. I'm here now. It's not like I'm dodging anyone.
Understood. Well, I will go ahead and give you the 90 days that you're asking for to come into compliance, which brings you to, is that August? August 11th. That would be your hearing date. You'll receive a notice. If you're not in compliance by that time, a $100 a day fine may be imposed. So my suggestion would be to talk with staff about your zoning issues.
Okay,
Thank you for being here today.
thank you.
Okay, the next case is 2239 CESM, respondents Ortego and Estrevero. Good afternoon, sir.
Kyle Kasich, Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request to be entered into the record.
It is entered, thank you.
Case number 2239 CESM is for the property located at 405 Tucker Drive, Sanford, which is owned by Mario R. Nito Ortega and Alejandra Linares Estevaro. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. The description of the violation is unpermitted installation of an accessory-type structure. The case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was 5/10/21. The notice to respondent was on 5/11/21. The compliance date was 2/1/22. Follow-up inspections as shown both on-site visit and via computer. Results of the re-inspections are that the violation remains on the property. This screenshot from the property appraiser's website shows Mario R. Nito Ortega and Alejandra Linares Estevaro are the record owners of the property. This is a copy of the received certified return receipt for the notice of this hearing. This is a photograph of the violation from 5/10/21. Another photograph, 11/1/21. 1/14/22. Five 9/22. This screen shows an application was received on 5/6/22 to correct the violation. This application is currently under review and has not been issued as a permit as of yet. This is a copy of the application and the date applied for. The plan tracking information is that the date applied for was on 5/6/22. Planning and review date along with results. After plan review by Planning and Development, applicant needs a variance, which they did obtain. The variance was approved on 1/24/22. This shows a copy of Chapter 40 in which they are in violation of. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case, 2239 CESM, it is determined that the respondents are the record owners of the property located at 405 Tucker Drive, Sanford, in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It is further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondents to correct the violation on or before July 15th, 2022. In order to correct the violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permit for the cited violation. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Does the respondent wish to respond?
No.
No? Okay. Then I will go ahead and issue the recommended order and find the property in violation, and you will have until July 15th, 2022 to come into compliance, okay? If it's not in compliance by that time, a fine may be imposed of $50 a day, but not before then.
All right.
Okay, thank you. The next case where a respondent is present is 2123 CESM. Respondent Isiki, and I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Case number 2123 CESM, Hilmley Ezekli at 813 Richby Drive, Altamont Springs. Inspector Kyle Kasich. Violation, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, construction without the required permits. This case was originally heard by the special magistrate on October 14th, 2021, and an order was issued giving the respondents a compliance date of February 10th, 2022. An affidavit of non-compliance was filed by the inspector after re-inspection on February 14th, 2022. An affidavit of compliance was filed by the inspector after a permit was obtained on March 3rd, 2022. Recommendation, based on the findings of fact issued on October 14th, 2021, the special magistrate issue on order reducing the fine to an administrative cost totaling $715.16, and order these costs be paid within 30 days, or the fine will revert to the original amount of $1,000 and constitute a lien on the property. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Does the respondent wish to respond?
So I'm a little confused just to understand. So that one, like the description of the violation, so removing the walls and converting into the original shape was, and the permits that I was asked to obtain was to, just make sure everything is, back to original and done properly, right? So basically after this, I'll be all clear with the property and all the violations.
May I respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So what this affidavit of compliance is stating that you are now in compliance. We're reducing what the amount we're asking for from the full lien amount to just administrative costs.
And the letter I received was saying, starting sometime in February, it has been 90 days, and there was an amount for $4,500 something. Are you aware of that amount? The letter was telling me that.
Well, sure.
At the time the letter was sent, we did not have the affidavit of compliance.
Okay,
So you should be getting another letter indicating you were in compliance.
got it. got
Okay,
it.
so question for the county. Does this administrative cost of $715.16 cover everything, including that $4,000 amount he's referencing? It's reduced, and this is the last amount he will owe, correct?
Correct. It is
Okay.
being purely reduced to administrative
Okay,
costs.
so, sir, what this means is you're in compliance, and once you pay this $715.16, you're done with this case.
Okay, so is it possible to reduce the amount to, nothing? Basically, I have my reasons, definitely, but then I know you guys worked hard and worked along with me to get this situated. But right after COVID, finding a contractor was really hard. And then last year, I had actually multiple losses in the family, but my dad passed away on June 6th of 2021. And then good news is I had my daughter born on February 19 of this year, 2022. So all these dates are so close to each other, and this was this whole violation almost has nothing to do with me, even if it has my name on it. It was a bad handshake deal that I made with one of my friends. So that I really ended up with this situation. But yeah, so if there is a possibility of dismissing the fees, I would appreciate.
What is the county's response to that request?
One moment, please.
Yep.
I'm going to consult with the acting building official at the moment.
Sure, we'll take a 5-minute break.
I would appreciate it.
Okay, I'll be back. Okay, we will reconvene.
After consulting with Bob Pike, the building official, we are okay with that.
All right. Then, sir, your fines are reduced to 0.
Yay.
Thank you for coming.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone, for working with me. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
Does the county want an order for 0 fines or just a dismissal?
Do you prefer one over the other?
Would be easier. Order.
I'm sorry, an order?
An order would be for the paperwork.
Okay, I will send an order indicating that the fines are waived. Thank you. Which one?
Mr.
Hillary?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the next case is going to be 2246 CESM, Respondent Hillary. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Kyle Kasich, Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request it be entered into the record.
It is accepted, thank you.
Case number 2246 CESM is for the property located at 2360 Church Street, Sanford, which is owned by Emmanuel L. Hillary. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Description of the violations: major interior and exterior alterations of structure and installation of exterior pole light without the required permits. The case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was on 11/24/21. Notice to respondent was 11/30/21. Compliance date 1/28/22. Follow-up inspections as shown, both on-site visit and via computer. The result of the reinspection is that the violations remain on the property. This screenshot from the property appraiser's website shows Emmanuel L. Hillary as the record owner of the property. This photograph shows the posting of the notice of hearing on the property. This is a photograph from the fire loss report 20-12097 on 8/3/20. This is another photograph from that same loss report on 8/3/20. And these are continual photographs from that fire loss report showing the damages that the fire did to the home. All right, and this is a photograph of the violation from the front of the house taken 11/18/21. This is after it's been fixed without permits. This is the front of the house 11/24/21. This is a photograph of the light pole put up taken on 11/18/21. Photograph of the front of the house showing the garage doors 2/14/22. And finally, the front of the house taken 5/11/22. And this is another side photo of the house taken 5/11/22. This screen shows an application process was created on 1/20/22 to correct the violation. The application is currently under review and has not been issued as a permit. Copy of the application not applicable as it has not yet been uploaded to ePlan. Workflow task is currently at submission correction step. Pending receipt of the remainder of the application documents, permit 20-12097 is currently in PC status, fire damage in the game room. This permit will be closed upon issuance of permit 22-1020. This shows a copy of Chapter 40 in which they are in violation of. Recommendation: based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2246 CESM, it is determined that the respondent is the record owner of the property located at 2360 Church Street, Sanford, in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It is further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondent to correct the violations on or before July 15, 2022. In order to correct the violations, the respondent shall obtain the required permits for the cited violations. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violations continue or are repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thanks. And just to clarify on the permits, am I correct then that if permit 1020 was issued, he'd be in compliance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If it was issued, it would have made him in compliance.
And he hasn't submitted everything that's required yet for that permit, right?
Correct. It's
Okay.
still in plan check. We're waiting for him to finish the process. So
Okay.
he has a permit that has been applied for. It
He's
has not
applied
been
for the
issued.
correct permit, but he
Correct.
hasn't submitted all of the information the county
Correct.
needs, right? Okay, thank you. Okay, does the respondent wish to respond?
I submitted everything they asked me for. I uploaded it to for the plans, the square footage that it covered. I did all that. I emailed it, I e-planned it all back to them. And I had seen nothing, no activities on the application.
Okay, I'm sorry, just for the record, are you the property owner? And-
Yes, I am.
And your
Emmanuel
name?
Hillary.
Thank you. Okay, so the county hasn't contacted you to say information's missing?
No. Matter of fact, I just went on there this morning, and they still don't say nothing about what I'm missing, and then just show the application is in plan review.
Okay, do you know what information's missing, so we can advise?
I
the
sent everything they asked for.
We would have to look into what information is missing and contact with the plan reviewers.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was that?
We were stating the last time we had saw it was at submission corrections, but if he'd uploaded more things today after
No,
we checked this
I
morning.
didn't do nothing today. I mean, that's been, when I did the application, the week after I sent whatever, because the only thing was to do was to insulate and drywall. No damage. You saying alteration, I did no alterations.
We'll have to look into it. It doesn't actually change the course of this though, ma'am, because it would still just be in plan check stage.
Yeah, no, for me, it just changes the course of how long he needs, maybe.
Correct.
Maybe not. Well, it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, he should maybe go to the first floor building division and the window right over here and talk to some people about what he needs to do.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you want to go do that after this hearing, you can go right to the first floor here in these doors, and they can tell you what's missing, if anything. The county is wanting to give you until July 15th to come into compliance. Does that sound reasonable to you?
Well, I can come in compliance today. I mean, it's just that I don't know what they're looking for.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and issue that order to come into compliance by July 15th, but just go on over to the permit office so that you can find out what's missing. And if you have problems between now and July 15th, you can always come back and ask for more time and explain why, if something comes up that we don't know about right now.
Okay.
Okay, so there won't be any fines now, but if it's not in compliance by July 15th, a fine of $50 a day may be imposed, but you'd be brought back here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good day. And I think that's the last case with the respondent present, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we will go back to 2236 CESM, respondent David Kite.
I was like, wait, I don't have.
That's mine.
Go right here. And that's your pen. Oh, thank you.
For the record, Mary Robinson, Development Services. I have submitted a copy of this PowerPoint to the Code Enforcement Board, Special Magistrate Clerk, sorry. This is case 2236 CESM, David Kite. The violation charged, is for Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 11, Section 30.0202. The description of the violation is outdoor storage. It's not a permitted use in the R1 zoning district. The case summary, the initial inspection was 9/29/21. The notices to respondent was 9/29/21, 10/28/21, 11/1/21, with compliance dates of 10/25/21, 11/13/21, and it looks like I left a date out at the end there. So follow-up inspections are 11/19/21, 3/10/22, and yesterday 5/11/22, and the outdoor storage remains on the property. The property record card shows that Mr. Kite is the owner of record. These are the certified green cards signed by Mr. Kite returned by the post office. This is the return card for the notice of hearing. This picture was taken on March 10th, 22. If you can see the outdoor storage. It's another view. There's numerous pieces of furniture and various items sitting out in the front yard and driveway. This was taken yesterday on 5/11/22. There is a bed with, piled with clothes. The outdoor storage does continue to exist. There has been some cleanup that he's done on this area, but he still does have the outdoor storage. And Mr. Kite was ill and could not attend today. The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony evidence presented in case number 22-36 CESM. It's determined that the respondent is the owner of record of property located at 531 Notre Dame Drive, located in Seminole County, is determined by the property appraiser records. He is in possession and or in control of the property, is in violation of Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 11, R1, Single Family Dwelling District. It's recommended that the special magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before July 14th, 2022. In order to correct the violation, the respondent shall remove the outdoor storage from the property. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 a day will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact the code enforcement officer to arrange for an inspection of the property to verify compliance, and that completes my presentation.
Thank you. My only question is, when you said he's ill and couldn't attend, did he request time, or did he ask for anything, or did he just indicate he's not coming?
No, he had a neighbor called because he does not have a cell phone.
Okay. But he didn't make any requests?
No, he did not.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and issue the recommended order from staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the next case is 2240 CESM, respondents Burke and Thomason. Burke.
Kyle Kasich, Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request it be entered into the record.
It's accepted. Thank you.
Case number 2240 CESM is for the property located at 490 Trinity Ave, Altamont Springs, which is owned by James A. Burke, Mary E. and William E. Thomason. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Description of the violation is installation of a wooden privacy fence and light post without the required permits. The case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was 9/20/21. Notice to respondent was 9/28/21. Compliance date was 2/9/22. Follow-up inspections, as shown both on-site visit and via computer. Results of the re-inspections are that the violations remain on the property. This screenshot from the property appraiser's website shows James A. Burke, Mary E. and William showing the posting of the notice of this hearing on the property. This is a photograph of the violation taken 9/20/21. Another photograph of the violation 9/20/21 from the other side, 1/21/22. Another photograph 2/17/22. And finally 5/11/22. This screen shows no permits applied for or issued to correct the violation. This shows a copy of Chapter 40 in which they are in violation of. Recommendation, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2240 CESM, it is determined that the respondents are the record owners of the property located at 490 Trinity Ave, Altamont Springs, in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It is further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondents to correct the violations on or before July 15th, 2022. In order to correct the violations, the respondent shall obtain the required permits for the cited violations. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violations continue or are repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. And before the notice was posted on April 29th, was certified mail sent?
Ours are on. I don't know about Pat's.
Yes, it was.
I know ours are, but I'm looking for.
Yes?
Confirmation, yes.
Okay, thank you. Then I will go ahead and issue staff's recommended order. Okay, thank you. And the next case is 2242 CESM. I'm not going to attempt to say the names. I'll let you.
Oh, you had to do me.
Oh, you already.
Or at least we'll put them on the screen.
Yes, I'll try.
242.
Kyle Kasich, Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request it be entered into the record.
It is accepted. Thank you.
Case number 2242 CESM is for the property located at 3461 Michigan Street, Lake Mary, which is owned by Yuri Shmerlis and Mariana Goryevduskaya. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Description of the violation is installed a concrete wall without the required permits for the section west of the home. Case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was 6/18/21. Notice to respondent was 6/18/21. Compliance date 2/9/22. Follow-up inspections as shown, both on-site visit and via computer. Results of the re-inspections, the violation remains on the property. This screenshot from the property appraiser's website shows Yuri Shmerlis and Mariana Goryevduskaya as the record owners of the property. This is a copy of the received certified return receipt for the notice of this hearing. This is a photograph of the violation taken 6/18/21, and another one taken 6/18/21. Another photograph of the, so this is a photograph of the section of wall that is not in violation. So if you look at the survey there, the blue X's are the left side wall of the property that is not in violation. Where the red box is where the wall that is in violation is.
So they got a permit for only part of the work?
Correct.
Okay.
For half the wall.
Did they use a contractor or do it themselves? Or if you don't know, I'm
I
just
would
trying to
have to look into that
understand why. Okay. It seems kind of inadvertent, but have you heard from them?
I have not, ma'am.
Well, clearly they've received the notice because you have the green card signed off.
And this is a photograph of the wall that is in violation, taken 1/21/22. This is another photograph of the violation wall, taken 2/18/22.
Did someone complain about this? How did staff become aware?
One sec while we look into that, ma'am.
Or maybe when it was inspected to close out the permit, you all found the rest of the wall?
Okay, this was reported by environmental because there is a water main on that side,
Okay,
and the gates seem to be in row next to the water main.
okay, so they put their gates in the right-of-way, potentially.
But the gates are permitted.
Oh, okay.
This screen shows no permits applied for or issued to correct the violations. Permit 21-20740's HVAC, 21-17062 is a pool enclosure, 21-9957 is the gates, as we were discussing, 21-9956 is the access control for the gates, 21-0296 is the swimming pool, and 20-9924 is the left side wall.
Okay, I mean, I know you're not done yet. I am going to find it in violation because it clearly is, but it seems like with all these permits they've applied for and the work in these pictures, that maybe a phone call, maybe they don't realize, I don't know what's going on because they're not here, but maybe someone can call them and say, you might think you have permits for this wall, but you left out a section, because I just can't imagine these people that have all these permits applied for would just leave out a part of their wall intentionally. So it is in violation, I'll find the violation,
Yes, ma'am.
but it just seems to make sense to maybe reach out to them, but. I'm just thinking, and they're not here to explain themselves, but maybe when they get a notice in the mail that says you have an unpermitted wall, they're thinking, we know we have permits, so they're not responding, and maybe they don't understand that it's just a portion of the wall, so I'm just suggesting, not ordering, some communication to get this into compliance, because they seem, based on this long list of permits, like people that would apply for a permit if they knew. I could be wrong.
And just to enter into the record, ma'am, I do have a copy of the notice of code violation that was sent out. The actual description of the violation that was sent on the code violation installed a concrete wall without the required permits for one section that is the west of the home.
Yeah. I'm still thinking, I don't know
Yes,
what
ma'am.
they're thinking. They're not here, they should be here, they're not. We will go ahead and find the violation. And I see at the end of your report that you are requesting a July 15th, 2022 compliance date and a fine of $50 a day thereafter. So I will go ahead and issue staff's recommended order. Okay? Thank you. And the next case is 2243 CESM. Again, I won't try to pronounce the last name, but the property address is 1365 North County Road 426.
Kyle Kasich, Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request it be entered into the record.
Okay, it is accepted, thank you.
Case number 2243 CESM is for the property located at 1365 North County Road 426 in Oviedo, which is owned by Maria and Abel Gabort. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. The description of the violation is installation of an electric gate without the required permit. The case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was 11/8/21. Notice to respondent was on 11/9/21. Compliance date was 1/21/22. Follow-up inspections as shown, both on-site visit and via computer. Results of the re-inspections, the violation remains on the property. This screenshot from the property appraiser's website shows Maria and Abel Gaibort are the record owners of the property. This is a photograph showing the posting of the notice for this hearing on the property.
Which followed a certified mail, correct?
Do you have confirmation?
It was returned.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. This is a photograph of the violation taken 11/8/21. Another photograph, 1/26/22. Another photograph, 1/26/22. And finally, 5/11/22. This screen shows an applications were received on 1/21/22 and 1/24/22 to correct the violation. The applications are currently under review and have not been issued as a permit. Permit 22-1118 for access control device in PC status pending corrections from P&D Electrical and Fire. Permit 22-1095 for the electric gate in PC status pending zoning corrections. Copy of application and date applied for, plan tracking information as permit 22-1118 in PC status, waiting corrections, and 22-1095 waiting zoning corrections. This shows a copy of Chapter 40 in which they are in violation of. Recommendation, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2243 CESM, it is determined that the respondents are the record owners of the property located at 1365 North County Road 426 Oviedo in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It is further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondents to correct the violation on or before July 15th, 2022. In order to correct the violation, the respondents shall obtain the required permits for the cited violation. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you, so ordered. And the next case is 2245 CESM, Respondent Tuminello.
Kyle Kasich, Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request it be entered into the record.
It's accepted, thank you.
Case number 2245 is for the property located at 673 St. Johns River Drive, Sanford, which is owned by Ernest Tuminello. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. The description of the violation is partially submerged above-ground pool installed without required permit. The case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was 9/16/21. Notice to respondent was 9/24/21. Compliance date 2/1/22. Follow-up inspections as shown both on-site visit and via computer. Results of re-inspections, the violations remain on property. This screenshot from the property appraiser's website shows Ernest Tuminello is the record owner of the property. This is a copy of the received certified return receipts for notice of this hearing. This is a photograph of the violation taken 9/16/21. Another photograph 1/14/22. And finally 5/11/22. This screen shows no permits applied for or issued to correct the violation. The 21 permit is a re-roof, the 98 permit is vinyl siding, and the 94 permit is a room addition. This shows a copy of Chapter 40 in which they are in violation of. Recommendation, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2245 CESM, it is determined that the respondent is the record owner of the property located at 673 St. Johns River Drive, Sanford, in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It is further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before July 15th, 2022. In order to correct the violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permit for the cited violation. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you, so ordered. And the next case is 2161 CESM, which is a lien case, so we won't go through the PowerPoint.
Case number 2161 CESM, Raymond and Melinda Torres, 4183 Looking Glass Place, Sanford, Florida. Inspector Kyle Kasich. Violation, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, construction without the required permits. This case was originally heard by the special magistrate on December 9th, 2021, and an order was issued giving the respondents a compliance date of February 10th, 2022. An affidavit of non-compliance was filed by the inspector after reinspection on February 14th, 2022. Based on the findings of fact issued on December 9th, 2021, the special magistrate issued an order imposing a lien in the amount of $4,550 for 91 days of non-compliance from February 11th, 22 through and including May 12th, 2022. And the fine shall continue to accrue at $50 per day for each day the violation continues or is repeated after May 12th, 2022.
Okay, and when was the last time staff went out there to verify it's not in compliance? Was it yesterday or today, or was it back in February?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, okay. Then I will go ahead and impose the lien as requested by staff. Thank you. And the next case is 2163 CESM. I'll have the same question about the last time staff checked the property for all these lien cases, just to let you know.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Case 2163, CESM, Joel Washington, 121 Lamplighter Road, Altamont Springs, Florida. Inspector Kyle Kasich. Violation, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, construction without the required permits. This case was originally heard by the special magistrate on December 9th, 2021, and an order was issued giving the respondents a compliance date of February 10th, 2022. An affidavit of non-compliance was filed by the inspector after reinspection on February 14th, 2022, and an affidavit of compliance was filed 5/4/2022. Recommendation, based on the findings of fact issued on December 9th, 2021, the special magistrate issue an order reducing the fine to administrative costs totaling $589.26, and order these costs to be paid within 30 days, or the fine will revert to the original amount of $4,500 and will constitute a lien on the property.
And that one was last inspected?
Yes, I inspected that one yesterday,
Okay.
and they are in compliance now.
Perfect. All right, then I will go ahead and issue the recommended order for administrative costs of $589.26. Okay, and the last case is a special request, 2129 CESM, respondent Jason Mowry. My understanding is that the county and the respondent have agreed to a time extension?
Yes, we talked about that. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it is, what is the time extension that you're requesting? Do I have it right here, clerk?
He's asking for 60 to 90 days.
Okay, and what is the county's response to 60 to 90 days?
We have no problem with that.
60 or 90, or?
Just give them 90 in case there's any problem.
90?
Yeah, 90 days.
Okay, then I will go ahead and grant the time extension request that the county has agreed to for 90 days, which I think takes us to August 11th, 2022. So August 11th, 2022 is the new compliance date. And with that, that was our last case, so I will go ahead and approve the minutes of April 14th, 2022. I will confirm the date of the next meeting is June 9th, 2022. And that June 9th date. Can that be pushed back a week or no? We can talk about it. Did the notices go out? I can get back to town. Okay, I can get back to town in time. I was just asking. Okay, so the next meeting date will be June 9th, 2022, and we will go ahead and adjourn. Thank you.